Before setting up the individual fee contracts, it is good practice to set up billing contract terms. To do this, go into the configuration menu on the right hand side, select lookups, and then select billing contract terms. To set up a new billing contract terms, simply click on Insert. You add the name. Here you've added Wakefield Metropolitan District Council. You've got a choice to anonymise invoices. If you tick this box, as can be seen, the name of the resident will be replaced by the invoice unique reference. You could also got a choice to tick Bill Discharge Date. This would then bill up to the actual date of discharge. If this was unticked, it would bill to midnight the day before discharge. You can enter the number of additional days on death, the number of additional days billed when cannot meet needs, the notice period. If it's a private billing contract and you tick this box, the generic contact details would be hidden as they would need to be entered individually into each private contract. If this is unticked, any contact details entered here, such as local authority or NHS providers, will be automatically completed on the resident's fee contract. First of all, add payable reference. You can either enter the address manually or type in the postcode, click search, and then select the address, which will automatically populate the text boxes. And then if you wish, you can add more contact details such as telephone numbers, mobiles, email address and fax. Finally, we enter any absence fee reductions. To do this, click on Add Reduction. Enter the number of days that the resident needs to be absent and the percentage reduction in fees once that absence is reached. You can carry on adding more reductions depending on the rules based on the governing contract terms for the individual fee contract. Once you're happy you've entered all the information, select Save, and those contract billing terms are now available to attach to the relevant fee contracts. Before adding the fee contracts, you must make sure that the resident where you need to add the fee contract has the total weekly fee set. In this case, Hattie Jakes has no weekly fee set. Simply open Hattie's record, click on the edit icon, add the total weekly fee, click on the blue button, and this will be then set. CoolCare 4 will total up all of the fee contracts that you add for a resident and then compare it to this figure. If it doesn't balance, a warning message will be generated. We're now going to add some fee contracts for the resident. Select Resident Records and then select the record you wish to add the fee contracts to. Go into Billing and select Fee Contracts. The key information on this screen is the weekly fee, which is £750. The total fee contracts for this resident should equal this figure. Warnings are generated if the weekly fee does not match. We can ignore this at the moment because no weekly fees have yet been added. In the fee details, you will see that the funding type is LEN top-up. This means there is a local authority funding and also a top-up by the resident's family. There is also a text box where you can enter an invoice unique reference number and also another text box where you can enter a contract number. If you ever wish to suspend invoicing, you can tick this box. Once you've completed these, select Save. And then to add a fee contract, you would click Insert. First of all, you click on Account and select New Account. You can either enter your own account reference or auto-generate one. We will be auto-generating. You then select the contract billing terms you wish to apply to this contract. In this case, it's Wakefield Metropolitan District Council, and the payee name, Wakefield Metropolitan District Council Finance. The payee type will be local authority. You will notice that the contact details that were attached to this contract automatically appear. You now need to enter the payment details. The payment details sets the interval between payments, the weekly fee contribution and the payment method. As you can see, you can set different intervals between the payments, fixed days. If you selected this, you also put the number of days. So for instance, 28 days would set a 28-day period between each invoicing period. For anniversary, it is the same day every month, and this would be prorated. So if you set anniversary on the 15th, the payment would be made on the 15th of every month. Unit month is the same as the anniversary, except each payment would be exactly the same. There's also Unit 365, Unit 366 and 445. Here we're going to select fixed days and set a period of 28 days. The weekly fee contribution would be 500 and the payment method would be backs. You can also mark invoices as printed automatically if you wish. We now must enter the contract details. The contract start date would normally when the resident moved in. In this case, the 10th of the 10th, 2018. The contract end date we would left blank. This could be used if it was a respite and you knew the contract end date. The next processing date would be when you normally run the invoices. In this case, we're going to add the 20th of October. The first invoice start date would normally equal the contract start date. The first invoice end date and the first invoice amount will be automatically calculated from the first invoice start date and this information over here for the period repeat. Once you are happy with this, select Save. Your first fee contract is now saved. You will see that the warning has changed to say that the contract that you've just created is due on the 28th of the 10th. There's a second warning to say the weekly fee does not equal the total fee contributions. That is because we have not yet set up the top up. Further down, you can actually view the fee contract and make any changes. This will be described in another video. We are now going to add the second fee contract, and to do this, again, you click Insert and then you fill in the required fields as before for the top up. Once again, select New Account, auto-generate the reference. Contract terms will again be Wakefield Metropolitan District Council. The payee name this time will be Hattie Jakes' daughter, Sarah Kennedy. And the payee type will be next of kin. Any contact details you would have to put in separately. The payment details is this time going to be an anniversary paid on the 15th with a weekly contribution of £250 and it's going to be paid by direct debit. The contract start date will once again be the 10th of October. No contract end date. We'll also run the invoices on the 28th. The first invoice start date will be the same as the contract start date. And this time you will notice that the first invoice end period will change because the repeat details are different, and the first invoice amount will also calculate automatically. Select Save. The weekly fee contracts are now saved. The warning that the fee contracts did not match the weekly fee has now disappeared, and the only two warnings are to say when the next two contracts are due. Once again, you can view the fee contracts at the bottom.